Happening overnight, more barricades, cones, and lane closures around the isthmus as strong storms sweep through the Madison area. Chris is tracking even more rain in your first alert forecast. And road work has temporarily been paused across the state, easing congestion for the Labor Day holiday weekend. The new construction closures you should know about when heading back to work this week.
This is News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
And good Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us this morning. It is September 2nd. I'm Josh Bretter alongside meteorologist Chris Reese, and more rain overnight. I feel like we're kind of a broken record. Every day it's the same.
I know, and we keep saying this over and over. It rained last night. It rained last night. Last night we picked up over an inch of rain.
Oh, wow.
Now the good news is this is kind of coming in nickels and dimes in terms of all at once, but we are still seeing a lot of the heavy rainfall out there. So that's why we're keeping the alert days going through today and tomorrow. Now some of that rain has moved off, so now we're starting to see breaks in the cloud cover, more sunshine coming into the picture as well. The temperature 68 degrees right now. Check out the humidity, 100%. As you step outside, it is humid out there, so do be mindful. Yes, very, very thick out there. Temperatures are into the upper 60s and low 70s as of now. Here's the rainfall over the past 6 hours. Notice how you had these blobs of really heavy rain that just kind of moved on through. That brought a lot of lightning and thunder last night to the Madison area, and a lot of folks, especially to our south and west, picked up 3 or more inches of rain from that. Here in Madison, like I mentioned, about an inch, and that kind of died off as you work your way to the north. But we'll continue to watch that potential for some showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon. In the meantime, though, we will get a break in the action. We'll watch them closely, solely because we do have the chance for some severe weather with the storms coming in later on today.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, just into the newsroom this morning, a Janesville man is in custody after crashing into a squad car overnight. Beloit police say Alberto Miguel Lopez was driving north on Prairie Avenue near Inman Parkway, where police were conducting a traffic stop. He hit the rear squad car, pushing it several feet forward, narrowly missing the front squad car. A town of Beloit officer suffered minor injuries as a result, and Miguel Lopez was brought to the hospital. The crash is under investigation, and Miguel Lopez has been arrested for operating while intoxicated. Happening overnight, several barricades, high water signs, and cones are up again throughout the isthmus as flooding remains a concern in Madison. City officials say lake levels remain high, and the rain overnight certainly didn't help. Some good news, though. The Capital City Trail reopened Saturday at the Monona Terrace between Blair and Broome Streets. But after temporarily reopening yesterday, North Livingston Street next to East Wash is once again closed. East Mifflin is also closed in that area. Officials are still asking people to avoid parking in low-lying areas. There are still slow no-wake rules in effect for most of the lakes and rivers in southern Wisconsin this holiday weekend. Columbia County Emergency Management put one on the Wisconsin River from the Highway 33 bridge in Portage to Lake Wisconsin. Slow no-wake orders are also in place for Swan Lake and the Fox River. In Dane County, Lakes Mendota, Monona, Wabisa, and Kaganza. And in Rock County, an order is in place for the Rock River. As a result of all of the flooding, many boat launches are also closed across the area. The city of Madison is extending a fee waiver to make it easier to recycle items damaged by the recent flooding. Usually the city requires a recycling fee sticker for things like electronics and appliances, with fees ranging between $10 and $35 depending on the item. But the city is waiving that requirement through Friday, meaning those items will be picked up even if they don't have a sticker. Things like TVs, computers, and other electronics should still be taken to a drop-off site instead of being left on the curb to avoid the risk of them breaking and releasing dangerous chemicals into the ground. You can find those drop-off sites at street division locations on West Badger Road and Sycamore Avenue. Right now, the Wisconsin Dells Ducks are being thanked for a water rescue this weekend. Firefighters with the Baraboo Fire Department say a man in his house was surrounded by water near Highway 33 and Highway U Saturday. He wasn't in any danger, but emergency responders called in the original ducks to help them get there.
Huge public-private relationship for resources that we have, and they're more than willing to come. One phone call away, and it's a great resource to have.
We're told the rescue went well and the man is staying with a friend this morning. 20 years ago, the ducks were used to rescue nearly 200 people from their homes when the Baraboo River overflowed. As several parts of south central Wisconsin continue to deal with flooding this morning, we want to remind you that our First Alert Weather and Traffic app is free on your mobile device. It provides accurate hour-by-hour and day-to-day forecasts, plus up-to-the-minute traffic information. Just search for Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic in the App Store. Developing right now, one man is in custody and recovering in the hospital this morning after he was shot by Madison police. Police responded to a domestic dispute call Saturday afternoon around 4. That's when they say the suspect, a 35-year-old man, showed them a knife and threatened them. Police shot the man one time. Neighborhood elder Larry Palm says this type of incident isn't indicative of the neighborhood.
The northeast side is a juncture point for the city of Madison, and there's lots of people who live here and lots of people who visit people who live here, and lots of people do good things here, and there's unfortunately some people who do bad things here.
The police officers involved are on leave while the Department of Criminal Investigation reviews what happened. Police Chief Mike Koval says the officers were not wearing body cameras, but a squad car was facing them, so that video should show more about what happened. As the number of opioid overdose deaths surge in Wisconsin, Madison now has double the number of treatment centers. The State Journal reports 2 clinics opened in Madison this year offering treatment programs and medication used in opioid addiction treatment. There were a record 883 opioid overdose deaths in Wisconsin last year. Well, the start of the Badger football season made for a busy weekend for UW police. Officers say 19 people were arrested Friday, 18 of them University of Wisconsin-Madison students. Despite 49 people being ejected from the game, only 20 citations were given out. 16 of those were for underage drinking. New this morning, with much of southern Wisconsin being affected by heavy rains, it's a good time to mention that September is National Preparedness Month. It can be hard to know when a potential natural disaster is on the way, especially when it comes to flash flooding we've seen over the past couple of weeks. That's why officials recommend making and practicing an emergency plan with your family. They say it can be as easy as bringing up to what to do in those situations while you're at the dinner table. You can find tips on developing a family plan at ready.gov. Just about 6:38 right now. Road work around Wisconsin is shut down for the weekend to help out with Labor Day traffic. The DOT says in addition to more vehicles out on the roadways, drivers need to be extra cautious because of heavy flooding across the state. There are still a number of state highways closed this morning, and people are being warned not to drive around barricades or through standing water. The DOT expects the busiest driving time this weekend will be between noon and 8 p.m. tomorrow. Looking ahead to when road work restarts, construction on the I-39-90 expansion project will also continue. As long as the weather cooperates, 2 lanes of traffic will remain open in both directions during daytime hours and weekends. But starting Tuesday through Friday, there will be nightly single lane closures between Edgerton and Madison between 8 at night and 5 in the morning. National Blood Donation Day is this Wednesday, but UW-Madison is getting a head start. After tomorrow's holiday, you can give blood at the UW Kickoff Blood Drive starting Tuesday through Thursday. UW's Red Cross Club will run the drive with donations going to UW hospitals, SSM Health, Unity Point Health Meriter, and Stoughton Hospital. Donors will get free giveaways while those supplies last. The drive runs from 11 until 5 Tuesday and Wednesday, and from 8:30 to 1:30 on Thursday. All of this at the Gordon Dining and Event Center. 6:39 right now. Storms overnight dumped even more rain on southern Wisconsin, rain that we certainly didn't need. Let's take a live look outside to start us off. Kind of a hazy start out there. Chris was talking about that humidity. He's in next, tracking even more rain in this forecast. Plus, an alarming lesson in safety for parents who are taking their kids to the pool this holiday weekend. You're watching News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Good Sunday morning to all of you. We're out here on the patio this time, now that we don't have the showers and thunderstorms that we had yesterday morning. Nonetheless, they did roll through during the overnight hours. I want to start you with how we finished off the month of August. Officially, we ended August with just under 10.5 inches of rain. Now, normally we see about 4¼ inches of rain for the month of August, so well above average for August. Now, as we head into September, the average is about 3.5 inches of rain. We already saw about 1.5 inches last night, and I'm willing to bet we'll see more of that rain as we go just through the next couple of days. We're looking at 2¾ inches of rain. So once again, we're going into another above average month. Let's go ahead and show you how the radar shaped up over the past 6 hours. You see the massive showers and thunderstorms that came through last night that since kind of died off a little bit. So now we do have some lingering showers up to the north. That's mainly right around Camp Douglas or so. And as we go through the next couple of hours, we're really going to see those showers continue to lift northward and dissipate. So we're not really seeing much more issues out of those today, but we do have some cloud cover lingering behind that. Some sunshine will peek through it as we go through the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures right now are into the upper 60s. Eventually, we'll see those reach the 70s and top out into the low 80s for those highs today. So ultimately, it will be a good day. It's just going to be humid in the process as well. We'll get some sunshine in there, but then right around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, the next round of showers and thunderstorms comes through. That'll take us into the afternoon and evening. Then the overnight hours likely dry and cloudy before more showers and thunderstorms arrive as we get you into Monday night. And that's when we could see an additional inch or so of rain. And like I mentioned, when you just tack it on one system at a time, it ends up adding up over the course of time. Now, thankfully, a lot of that heaviest rain has been to the south. But we're going to be watching this because as we go through the next 3 days, again, another spread in the models, some suggesting around an inch, but some suggesting upwards of an additional 4 inches of rainfall that we certainly do not need around here. 69 to 75 degrees as we go through the morning. By the afternoon, we'll top out right around 81 degrees. Those 80s are going to stick around as we go through the next couple of days. Another alert day for your Monday, and then falling back through the 70s as we go towards next weekend. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
Labor Day weekend marks the unofficial end to summer and for one last chance for parents to take their kids to the pool. But the holiday comes amid a new warning for parents from the CDC. Nearly 70% of drowning deaths happen when children are not in the pool. Nora O'Donnell explains.
She would walk into the room and everyone would want to know, who is this little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who just is this massive ball of energy and light and love.
You couldn't believe that she had that balance of sort of personality and patience and all the things that you would want.
Emmy was playing at a neighbor's house when the 19-month-old slipped out unseen, fell into their pool, and drowned.
And I opened the door, and she was floating face down in the pool. Every time I close my eyes at night to go to sleep, replays in my head. But it happens so fast.
On the same day, Nicole Hughes lost her 3-year-old son Levi in a similar drowning accident. Like Emmy, Levi also found his way outside to a pool.
When I look at pictures of him, it's so overwhelming to think I will not have any new pictures of him ever.
Now, the two moms, bonded by tragedy, are uniting with water safety advocates to prevent these drownings.
A lot of parents have reached out to me saying, like, I put my child down for a nap, and that was the last I saw my child alive.
Since Emmy's death, Bodie's been in the water with his 3-year-old son Nash as he learns self-rescue techniques.
Wow, that was a long float.
Good float, Nash. Not just our kids, our friends have brought their kids over, and we've kind of been attacking it as a group, and I think it's been really eye-opening to see.
Eye-opening for them, and they hope for others as they push for change.
I cannot let his death have been in vain. I have to fight like hell to do everything for all of us to fight so that no one else experiences this.
A good warning right there. 6:47 is your time right now. I hope you've made some room in your schedule and your stomach for day 2 of the Taste of Madison. Next, a look at how this delicious event also does a lot of good for the community. And we're heading to Prairie du Sac for a one-of-a-kind muddy, manure-filled competition, drawing people from all over the world. All of the action at this year's Cow Chip Festival when News 3 This Morning Sunday returns.
Good morning, folks. An alert day today and for your Labor Day as we continue to track that chance for strong to severe showers and thunderstorms along with the heavy rain potential. Now, after the showers and thunderstorms overnight, we are going to see a break in the action until this afternoon. A lot of those showers moving off to the north and falling apart as they do so, leaving us with some sunshine in spots. We'll see those clouds begin to thin out. Temperatures topping out into the low 80s with those showers and thunderstorms returning later on tonight. Once again, as we go through the next couple of days, we could see an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. 6:51 is your time right now. The 35th annual Taste of Madison continues today with local eateries serving up their best food and drinks throughout Capitol Square. The charity event offers up small servings of dishes from area restaurants. Prices range from $1 to $5. More than 80 restaurants and 27 beverage stands are participating this year. There's also musical entertainment at 3 different stages around the Capitol. Local restaurant owners say the deals offered at the event are good for their businesses, too.
We actually have those people come back to our restaurant every year, and they always say, yeah, we went to Taste Madison, and yeah, we came here because of your food over there, and we want to try more food in your restaurant. Yes, I'm so happy to hear that.
The Taste of Madison typically raises $60,000 annually for local nonprofits. The festival starts again at 11 o'clock this morning, running until 7. There's a pretty strange and smelly competition happening in Sauk County this weekend. The 44th annual Cow Chip Festival brings in tens of thousands of people to see how far they can chuck a chunk of manure. The current state record is 248 feet. News 3 photojournalist Corey Ferris spent the day at the kind of fest you'll only see in Wisconsin.
You have some of the finest athletes in all of Wisconsin and the surrounding areas coming here to put on a show. So let's hear it for them. Let's show them some support.
The Wisconsin State Cow Chip Festival is family, fun, food, and festival.
It is a fun festival. A farmer started around here 44 years ago, and we get people from all over the world.
I'm from São Paulo, Brazil. I mean, we both are.
Yeah, if you've never heard of the Wisconsin State Cow Chip Throw before, it may sound really awkward to you to hear that.
It's very unusual.
Cow chip throwing is actually, we go out and pick up actual cow chips on a guy's farm. It's just cows that are on plain grass.
We don't really have like those small community events. I had a really hard time just understanding and imagining how it was. Not only the chip throwing competition, but also the whole parade thing with giant cows that just poop on the street.
Hey, you guys, you're in the splash zone over there. If you want to count by in the base, stay right where you are, okay?
Every year try to improve it, make it a little simpler. On an average year, they figure we take in 40 to 50,000 people between Friday night and Saturday.
For us to have all these people come from all over the world, I mean, that's what gives us energy to keep having it every year, is that we meet people from all over the world that come to this to see what it's all about.
It just seemed too fun to pass on.
It's the true Wisconsin experience, right?
The true Wisconsin experience.
Only in Wisconsin. To Titletown now, where the Packers wasted no time finalizing the 53-man roster this weekend. Among the notables cut, a good chunk of running backs, corners, and linebackers, including former Badger Vince Beagle, who didn't have a particularly great preseason. The Packers are keeping 8 wide receivers on the roster, the most in at least 10 years, including former Whitewater standout Jake Kumaro. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears are paying up, getting Khalil Mack from the Raiders this weekend for a record-setting 6-year, $141 million extension. Mack is now the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. The Bears gave up first-round picks in 2019 and 2020, a third-round pick in 2020, and a sixth-round pick in 2019. Coming up on 6:56 this morning, and there is a full hour of News 3 This Morning Sunday ahead. A popular Willie Street restaurant hopes you'll smell delicious and Vietnamese and Thai food once again pouring from their business. But first, a preview of an all-new For the Record.
Good morning. I'm Neil Heinen. Today on For the Record, we will be talking about a new book written by the longest-serving governor in Wisconsin history. But Tommy Thompson's journey is so much more than that. From Elroy to the state capitol, to Washington, D.C. and 9/11. Tommy Thompson's journey is, in fact, the journey of a lifetime. Governor Thompson and his co-author, Doug Moe, join me to talk about that journey, and that's coming up this morning at 10:30 on WISC-TV.
The Packers aren't the only draw for fans at Lambeau this season. We get a sneak peek this morning at some of the new menu options featuring cheese. With just 1 week until the season opener, we're heading to Titletown.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good Sunday morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning Sunday. It is September 2nd. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking even more rain in his forecast. But first, here's what's happening right now. A man is in custody and recovering in the hospital this morning after he was shot by Madison police. Police responded to a domestic dispute call Saturday afternoon around 4 o'clock. That's when they say the suspect, a 35-year-old man, showed them a knife and threatened them. Police shot that man 1 time. The officers involved are being put on leave while the Department of Criminal Investigation reviews the case. Madison Police Chief Mike Koval says the officers were not wearing body cameras, but a squad car was facing them, so video should show a clear picture of what happened. Happening overnight, several barricades, high water signs, and cones are up again throughout the isthmus. City officials say lake levels remain high and the rain overnight certainly didn't help. Some good news, though, this morning. The Capital City Trail is reopened at the Monona Terrace between Blair and Broome Streets. But after temporarily reopening yesterday, North Livingston Street next to East Wash is once again closed. East Mifflin is also closed in that area. Officials are still asking people to avoid parking in low-lying areas this morning. The city of Madison is extending a fee waiver to make it easier to recycle items damaged by the recent flooding. Usually the city requires a recycling fee sticker for things like electronics and appliances, with fees ranging between $10 and $35 depending on the item. But the city is waiving that requirement through Friday, meaning those items will be picked up even if they don't have a sticker. Things like TVs, computers, and other electronics should still be taken to a drop-off site instead of being left on the curb. With much of southern Wisconsin being affected by heavy rains, it's a good time to mention that September is National Preparedness Month. It can be hard to know when a potential natural disaster is on the way, especially when it comes to flash flooding we've seen over the last few weeks. That's why officials recommend making and practicing an emergency plan with your family. They say it can be as easy as bringing up what to do in those situations while you're at the dinner table. You can find tips on developing that family plan at ready.gov. 7:02 right now, and Chris, more rain overnight and more rain in your forecast. What is the deal?
It's one of those deals where we're just in one of those tropical air masses, Josh, and it's keeping those rain chances around. Now, we're going to get a break in the action as we go through the rest of the day. Here's that huge slug of moisture that came through overnight, bringing a lot of lightning and thunder as it came through. That's moving off to the north, and we'll see a lot of that shower and thunderstorm activity begin to die off in the process. But some areas from that same round of showers and thunderstorms picked up upwards of 3 or more inches of rain last night after those same areas picked up 3 inches of rain yesterday morning. So some of those folks have seen 6 inches of rain in the past 24 hours. Here in Madison, we saw about 1 inch. As you work your way north, those showers got much lighter, and they are very light in the meantime. But what we're paying attention to now, is this cluster of showers and thunderstorms coming at us from the north and west, along with the other one from the south and west. Those will create more showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon, and we do have a marginal risk for those to be strong and severe, and so we do have the alert day out for that, along with heavy rain, and that's going to go through your Labor Day as well. Now, in the meantime, some sunshine is coming out. Make sure that you take time to enjoy it. The temperature 68 degrees. As we go through the rest of the afternoon, we'll top out right around 80 to 81 with those storms coming back into the afternoon. Now, in terms of traffic, if you're headed out and about this morning, so far, I mean, it's very quiet out there. Very few cars, no major issues or delays showing up, other than what we've already known to exist with problems on the isthmus due to flooding. But other main routes are cruising along at their normal speeds with no crashes or delays. Josh.
Chris, thank you. 7:04 right now. New this morning, a Janesville man is in police custody after crashing into a squad car overnight. Beloit police say Alberto Miguel Lopez was driving north on Prairie Avenue near Inman Parkway when police were conducting a traffic stop. He hit the rear squad car, pushing it several feet forward, narrowly missing the front squad car. A town of Beloit officer suffered minor injuries as a result. Miguel Lopez was brought to the hospital. That crash is under investigation this morning, and Miguel Lopez has been arrested for operating while intoxicated. Road work around Wisconsin is shut down for the weekend to help out with Labor Day weekend traffic. The DOT says in addition to more vehicles on the roadways, drivers need to be extra cautious because of heavy flooding across the state. There are still a number of state highways closed, and people are being warned not to drive around barricades or through standing water. The DOT expects the busiest driving time this weekend will be between noon and 8 p.m. on Monday. Looking ahead to when road work restarts, construction on the I-39/90 expansion project will also continue. As long as the weather cooperates, 2 lanes of traffic will remain open in both directions during daytime hours and weekends. Starting Tuesday through Friday, there will be nightly single-lane closures between Edgerton and Madison between 8 at night and 5 in the morning. Happening today, Senator John McCain will be laid to rest at the U.S. Naval Academy after a 5-day procession. Saturday, the late senator left the grounds of the U.S. Capitol for one final time. His family and close friends will honor him with a private memorial service in Annapolis, Maryland, where he will be buried. Among those speaking today will be son Jack McCain, a Navy helicopter pilot. At Saturday's memorial service, McCain's daughter Megan delivered a powerfully emotional eulogy.
The America of John McCain is generous and welcoming and bold. She is resourceful and confident and secure. She meets her responsibilities. She speaks quietly because she is strong. America does not boast because she has no need to. The America of John McCain has no need to be made great again because America was always great.
Former Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama, along with former First Ladies Laura Bush and Michelle Obama, were seated in the front row of the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. Both former presidents also delivered eulogies. Back in the capital city, fans of a popular Willie Street Vietnamese and Thai restaurant could get their fix this week. This comes nearly 4 months after a car crashed into Ha Long Bay's storefront. The State Journal reports the restaurant was expected to open mid-June, but repairs took longer due to the restaurant being in a historical building. The restaurant had a stand at Yum Yum Fest earlier this month and sold out their food in just 3 hours. Hopefully those fans will have their pad thai in hand this coming week. We're just 1 week away from the kickoff of the new Packers season, and besides all of the exciting action on the field, Lambeau has a new menu of delicious food options off the field. Aaron Taylor from our sister station in Green Bay checked it out.
Here at Lambeau Field in the off-season, they've been busy cooking up a storm. We've got a wide array of food. I've just got some samples here today. We have got the brat in a blanket. It's a brat wrapped in melted cheese curds. Can you do too much cheese at Lambeau Field?
No, I don't think so. I think it's impossible.
And there's a lot more where that came from on this menu.
We take a few months in the off season. We really try to get it firmed up by around June or July. We have visits with our sponsors, and we kind of go back and forth, and we really just have fun with it.
The food isn't all that's new. Some patrons at Lambeau will get to use a self-checkout this season.
Fans want quicker lines, they want to get back to the game, and this definitely speeds up the speed of service.
Speeding up service so fans can get their hands on all that's new here at Lambeau Field.
Cheese, cheese, and more cheese. The Packers kick off their season opener against the Bears at Lambeau 1 week from today. You'll soon be able to enjoy a new tap room in Madison from an award-winning brewer. Construction is now underway on the Delta Beer Lab. That's on the south side of Madison, just off the Beltline on Badger Road. The brewery will offer 10 to 12 types of beer and space for food truck vendors to sell what they make. The Delta Beer Lab will also have a designated area for local nonprofits to talk about what they do. The Beer Lab is expected to open in January. Still ahead this morning, a look at your rainy forecast, including what to expect for the Labor Day holiday. Plus,
a kid will pick him up and he'll lay in their arms like a baby, and he makes no sound. He just do what you want.
in a special Do Something Good story, how this dog is helping area kids learn how to read. This is News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Happy Sunday. More showers and thunderstorms came into the picture overnight. Now, a lot of that lifting out to the north. We're seeing some blue skies return to the picture, but still, we do have an alert day for the chance of additional heavy rainfall as we go through the rest of the weekend. Now, here's a radar showing the showers and thunderstorms from last night as they continue to move on out of town. That's going to leave us with a little bit more sunshine as we go through the rest of at least the early half of the afternoon. Here are the showers and thunderstorms. Now, a lot of that is north of the Dells and Black River Falls up towards Wausau and continuing to move further to the north and die off, as it should do so as we go through the next 3 hours or so. Here's a live look downtown. You see the clouds that are lingering, though. Temperatures are in the upper 60s. Dew points are in the upper 60s as well. That's helping really create that muggy feel to the atmosphere that we're going to keep just about all day long. Temperatures will reach the 70s very soon and then eventually top out right around 80 degrees as we get you into the peak heating of this afternoon. So we'll welcome the sunshine. Of course, we need it. We got some yesterday, and that was fantastic. Now, right around the early evening and towards dinner time, that is when the next round of showers and thunderstorms will rumble on through here. And then once that gets through, we'll have another round of showers and thunderstorms that comes through as we go into Monday and Monday night. Of course, we're keeping a very close eye on that. But hopefully the heaviest rain will stay south of us. That's the best thing that we can have. If it's to the north, a lot of that water trickles down. But if it's to the south, well, it will stay further to our south. The model's kind of converging in, though, with amounts between 1 and 3 inches as we go through the next 3 days. We will hopefully end it there, but there are still additional rain chances to come through the pike. We'll talk more about those as they get closer. But this morning, 69 to 75 degrees, becoming partly sunny by the afternoon. A mix of sun and clouds with the chance of a shower or a thunderstorm as well. That chance for showers and thunderstorms does continue into your Labor Day, along with Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before Friday and Saturday look dry. Another rain chance comes in by Sunday. But Josh, there are signs that in the long term, we will finally break down this wet pattern that we've had for so long.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
We've been asking you to share your morning with us. Denise Simey posted this on our Facebook page. Check that out. A nice little sight on this dreary Sunday morning. Thank you for sharing, Denise. And what does your morning look like? Be sure to take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page. Or you can also go to Instagram or Twitter and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. And every morning we share all of our favorites.
I have never claimed to be a literacy expert in any way. I think it's just a given that we all have the knowledge that reading is fundamental.
Literacy can open doors to endless possibilities. It develops the mind, the imagination, and it's a way to learn new things. But not every child has the ability to read. A Madison woman and her dog found a way to help, doing something good for those who need it most. Here's Charlotte DeLeste.
The great Dr. Seuss once wrote, "The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go." And that's the message Leisha Terry tries to live out every week.
I am the book pusher.
This all began a few years ago when Leisha saw the results of Madison School's Race to Equity report showing 84% of black students in the 3rd grade were reading below grade level.
It really did start out with me being upset about the Race to Equity report.
So Leisha asked herself a question.
How can I help? How can I help these kids with their schooling and their education? Wow. I live in the community and I want to live amongst, in a community that's working for their kids here. These kids are going to grow up and run this community.
And out of that, this chapter of her life was born.
It's called Tales with Big T, and this is Big T who started it all.
Leisha did a lot of research and found out that children who are struggling to read will easily read to a dog than a human. Why? Well, the answer to that question is very simple.
Because this guy's not going to judge them.
Research that is proven right here, as children who might not be your typical bookworm can't seem to get their head out of a book in the company of this little Pomeranian, Big T.
She just sat down and read 3. She has severe ADHD. But when there's a dog around, she'll gladly sit and read 3 books in a row. So why are we not doing more of this,
Ask Leisha about this library of love that she created at Meadowood Park, and she'll be modest.
I'm not a nonprofit. I'm just the lady that loves kids and dogs.
But the lady who loves kids and dogs is not only providing a reading space, but a safe space as well.
A lot of kids in these neighborhoods that I go to have experienced some kind of trauma in their life. So just holding a dog and petting a dog, and to see that, it's good for your heart.
So maybe, just like reading, Leisha and her little dog can provide children not only with more education, but an escape into a magical world.
They just want to hang sometimes, and that's okay.
As you heard in the story, Tales with Big T isn't a nonprofit. Leisha is doing this because she wants to. She has a traveling library with more than 100 books, all featuring a character of color, but she gives a lot of those books away. So please consider donating some books to this wonderful program. Leisha and Big T have a wish list, and you can find that on Amazon. If you have a do something good idea you'd like to share with us, please send them to channel3000.com/do something good. Well, 7:18 right now. Researchers are working to detect seizures before they start. And after years of decline, STDs are at a record high. Plus, have researchers unlocked the secret to living longer? There's something you can do this holiday weekend to help yourself out. This morning's health headlines are next on News 3 This Morning Sunday.
And we're still seeing a few showers left on radar. Most of that is to the north of us, moving away from Madison, so that's the good news. What we're going to be paying attention to are the showers and thunderstorms kind of arriving from the west. You have this one cluster up just to the northwest of Minneapolis. You have another cluster across portions of northeastern Iowa. That will be moving into an unstable environment this afternoon, creating the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms for us. We were going to be keeping a very close eye on that. In the meantime, a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures are in the 60s right now. We'll reach the mid-70s by lunchtime and eventually top out into the low 80s this afternoon before showers and thunderstorms return. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. 7:23 is your time. On the Health Watch this morning, cases of sexually transmitted diseases are at an all-time high. A new CDC report shows nearly 2.3 million cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis were diagnosed in the U.S. last year. The news comes after decades of decline in STDs. Most cases go undiagnosed, so they go untreated. These cases can lead to infertility, ectopic pregnancy, stillbirth, and increased HIV risk. Researchers in Europe are working on a neurotransmitter that can detect when an epileptic seizure starts and stop it from progressing. Using an electronic pump implanted on the brain, doctors were able to send a chemical to the source of the seizure to stop neurons from misfiring. Researchers are hopeful the technology could help patients diagnosed with brain tumors and Parkinson's disease. Could researchers have found the fountain of youth? A new study suggests you should take vacation if you want to live longer. The study from Finland looked at more than 1,200 men over 40 years and found in one group men who took less vacation time at a higher risk of dying. Researchers say vacation can be a good way to relieve stress. I think we all can agree with that. 7:24 right now. Your top stories are straight ahead, including the surge, then drop in gas prices predicted across the country. And flooding fears rise once again, as does the water. More barricades, cones, and lane closures put up around the isthmus overnight as strong storms swept through. A look at what streets are now closed when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues. Coming up, a record-breaking deal for the NFC North as Khalil Mack becomes the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning Sunday, just before 7:30 on the September 2nd. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking some more rain in his forecast, but first, here's the headlines. A man is in custody and recovering in the hospital this morning after he was shot by Madison police. Police responded to a domestic dispute call Saturday afternoon around 4 o'clock. That's when they say the suspect, a 35-year-old man, showed them a knife and threatened them. Police shot the man one time. The officers involved are on leave this morning while the Department of Criminal Investigation reviews what happened. Madison Police Chief Mike Koval says the officers were not wearing body cameras, but a squad car was facing them, so video should provide a clear picture of that scene. Happening today, Senator John McCain will be laid to rest at the U.S. Naval Academy after a 5-day procession. Saturday, the late senator left the grounds of the U.S. Capitol for one final time. His family and close friends will honor him with a private memorial service in Annapolis, Maryland, where he will be buried today. Among those speaking will be son Jack McCain, a Navy helicopter pilot, Senator Lindsey Graham, and General David Petraeus. Gas prices climbed to a 4-year high this summer, but will likely be heading back down after Americans return from Labor Day weekend. Right now, nationally, a gallon of gas is up nearly 50 cents on average compared to this time last year. But AAA says after Labor Day travels, demand will go down and so will the price. They predict by about 13 cents in the coming weeks. Also, AAA says refineries are able to switch to a winter blend in September, which is cheaper to produce. Fans of a popular Willie Street Vietnamese and Thai restaurant could get their fix back this week. This comes nearly after 4 months after a car crashed into Ha Long Bay storefront. The State Journal reports the restaurant was expected to open back in mid-June, but repair took longer due to the restaurant being in a historical building. The restaurant had a stand at Yum Yum Fest earlier this summer, and sold out of their food in just 3 hours. Chris is here now tracking even more rain in that forecast. Kind of a dreary end of the unofficial end of summer there, Chris.
It was a dreary end, and at this point we kind of have a dreary end to the start of meteorological fall as well. Alert days today and Monday. That's for not only strong to severe storms, but the heavy rain potential still does exist. Now, if you're headed out this morning, we are seeing more sunshine now. The temperatures are into the upper 60s. Those dew points also in the upper 60s, so folks, it will be humid as you step out. But we don't have to worry about the showers and thunderstorms. Those are moving to the north, taking a lot of the shower and thunderstorm activity with it for now. As we get you into the afternoon, we will pay attention to more showers and thunderstorms. But folks, what came through last night really put down a nice little drink of water for our friends to the south and west. But attention now turns to this line of showers and thunderstorms in Minneapolis, another one across northeastern Iowa that's forming right now. As that begins to move to the east this afternoon, well, we're going to see some sunshine. That's going to help destabilize the atmosphere and produce the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms later on. Traffic-wise, we're starting to see a few more cars out. The belt line's still a little damp, but nonetheless, it is running very smoothly. We still have those road closures out towards Cross Plains, additional road closures on the Isthmus. But other than that, all things are moving very smoothly for your Sunday morning, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. After all that rain overnight, several barricades, high water signs, and cones are up again throughout the Isthmus. This as flooding remains a concern here in Madison. City officials say lake levels remain high and the rain overnight certainly didn't help. There is some good news, though. The capital city reopened this weekend at the Monona Terrace between Blair and Broome Streets. But after temporarily reopening yesterday, North Livingston Street next to East Wash is once again closed. East Mifflin in that area is also shut down. Officials are still asking people to avoid parking in low-lying areas. And this reminder, there are slow no-wake rules still in effect for most of the lakes and rivers in southern Wisconsin this morning. This includes the Wisconsin River from the Highway 33 bridge in Portage to Lake Wisconsin. Slow no-wake orders are also in place for Swan Lake and the Fox River. In Dane County, Lakes Mendota, Monona, Waubesa, and Kaganza. And in Rock County, the Rock River. As a result of the flooding, many boat launches are closed across the southern part of the state as well. The city of Madison is extending a fee waiver to make it easier to recycle items damaged by the recent flooding. Usually, the city requires a recycling fee sticker for things like electronics and appliances, with fees ranging between $10 and $35 depending on the item. But the city is waiving that requirement through Friday, meaning those items will be picked up even if they don't have a sticker. Things like TVs, computers, and other electronics should still be taken to a drop-off site instead of being left on the curb, to avoid the risk of them breaking and releasing dangerous chemicals into the ground. You can find those drop-off sites at street division locations on West Badger Road and Sycamore Avenue. The original Wisconsin Dells ducks are being thanked for a water rescue this weekend. Firefighters with the Baraboo Fire Department say a man in his house was surrounded by water near Highway 33 and Highway U Saturday. He wasn't in any danger, but emergency responders called in the original ducks to help them get there.
Huge public-private relationship for resources that we have, and they're more than willing to come at one phone call away, and it's a great resource to have.
We're told the rescue went well and the man is staying with a friend this weekend. 20 years ago, the ducks were used to rescue nearly 200 people from their homes when the Baraboo River overflowed. The start of the Badger football season made for a busy weekend for UW police. Officers say 19 people were arrested Friday. 18 of them were UW-Madison students. Despite 49 people being ejected from that game, only 20 citations were given out. 16 of those were for underage drinking. To Titletown now, where the Packers wasted no time finalizing their 53-man roster this weekend. Among the notables cut, a good chunk of running backs, corners, and linebackers, including former Badger Vince Beagle, who didn't have a particularly great preseason. The Packers are keeping 8 wide receivers, though, on their roster, the most in at least 10 years, including former Whitewater standout Jake Kumaro. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears are paying up, getting Khalil Mack from the Raiders this weekend for a record-setting 6-year, $141 million extension. Mack is now the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. The Bears gave up first-round picks in 2019 and 2020, a third-round pick in 2020, and a sixth-round pick in 2019. Coming up on 7:36 this morning, fire up that grill. The 3-day holiday weekend is well underway, and if you haven't made some burgers, steaks, ribs, or veggies, now is the time. Next, we're joined live in studio by one of our favorites from Longhorn Steakhouse, who's cooking up a summertime favorite. Thanks for watching News 3 This Morning Sunday. Welcome back at 7:39. Labor Day marks the unofficial end to summer, but you can give the season one final hurrah by heading outside and throwing something on the grill, like baby back ribs. This morning we've got Chef Chris Gernon from Longhorn Steakhouse joining us live in studio with a demo, and quite the tease this morning. It smells so good.
Well, that's what we're here to do, right?
So what are we working on today?
So today, you know, we did our hotline all over the summer. Memorial Day, 4th of July, and now for Labor Day. It's gonna be the last time of the summer. Season's coming to an end, so grilling's almost over. So it's a stop of summer, but the start of tailgate season. So ribs are a great tailgate item. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna bring our ribs to life, all right? What I like to start with is our bone-in ribs right here. It's always gonna start with the seasoning, right? We talked about that last time. We season everything. It's our special seasoning. So what we're gonna put on there is evenly across. Now, if you don't have the seasoning that we have, you can make a little bit of something at home. You can mix your salt, your pepper, your granulated garlic, and granulated onion powder. Mix all that together and put the seasoning across evenly, just like I did, and really rub it in.
Do you have to worry about putting too much on at all, or?
You know, that's not our thing. We think there's never enough, and that gives it the flavor. So once you get your ribs, you're gonna go ahead and add them to your pan. You put them straight in just like that, and you're gonna add 1 cup of water. Now this is gonna go into the oven at 325 degrees for about 2.5 to 3 hours. Slow roast them, and then you're gonna wrap them in foil just like this and make sure it's airtight, and we really get the seal on there because you don't wanna let anything out. And you're just gonna wrap it just like that. Mine's a little short, but you get the gist of it, and we're gonna put it in there. Once they come out, they're gonna come out just like this. This is some of our pre-cooked ones I brought in today. You can put these on the stovetop, you can put them on the fire grill, whatever you wanna do, because now we're gonna cook that barbecue flavor into them. All right, so we're gonna put our grills right on top of our griddle. Today we're inside the building, so we have our griddle. Like I said, you can use your stovetop. Just make sure you turn it to high. If you're in the backyard, I recommend over the open flame grill. Add a little bit of oil so it doesn't stick, and that's gonna really help it. Now you're gonna cook these bone down first, and we're gonna add a little bit of barbecue sauce on top. Really what we're doing now is we're cooking the barbecue sauce into the ribs, give it that flavor. All right, so we'll start like that. And you're gonna do this every 2 to 3 minutes, and you're gonna flip about 3 times, all right? As the ribs are cooking, what I'd like to do is talk about some tailgating tips, okay? 1, do all of your prep beforehand. It's gonna allow you more time to enjoy your festivities with your friends, right?
Makes it a little easier that
go
day.
throw the football, play the tossing bag. I know, I love that one. We're the champs. And then secondly, talk about whenever you got the grill. So you can have a hot side of your grill where you're cooking, and then a warm side. So if something's done, you can bring it down to the warm area, and everything can stay hot while you're waiting to serve it all to your friends. Lastly, cleanup. Be prepared. Put things in foil. Put things in disposable bags. Easy cleanup. Bring trash bags, bring sanitizer, and bring towels to help clean up.
And you know ribs are a little messy too.
They can be, right? But the reason we picked them for tailgating is because we think they're really easy to eat at the, you know, outside. So we got the ribs here. We're gonna flip them right here. Perfect. You can hear that sear, nice.
Soft on the other side?
Yeah, sauce them up. There you go. Now I got some here that were ready to go already. So we're gonna flip those over, you see that. After you get them cooked like that, add the barbecue sauce one more time, and then you're gonna cut them into 1 to 2 pieces for easy serving. Besides that, we're gonna have the Grillers hotline available tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central. You can call us with any questions. If it's about steak, about ribs, the temperature, the seasoning, anything you want, we're there for you. It's our grill masters. It's the last time of the summer, so I really suggest to take advantage of it.
Well, and you don't want to take that grilling lightly, right?
No,
it can
not
really
at
make
all.
or break your meal.
Yeah, and you know, you're gonna be the talk of the town at the office the next day. You know, oh, yeah, I'm going with him because he's a good cook. People always attract the food.
All right, well, as always, we thank you for coming in. You always have great tips for us.
Yeah, well, we appreciate having us. If you want the real deal, come and see me at Longhorn Steakhouse on the Madison, on the west side, and we'd be glad to help you out.
You always do a great job. All right, thanks so much. Well, city leaders in Madison are still hoping for limited rainfall as local lakes are at or near record high levels. You can see that steam even coming up this morning. You're looking live over the Capitol. Chris is next. We're in next with a look at your holiday forecast with more rain on the way and a look at the work week when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues. But first, happy birthday to all of the kids turning 3 years old today. We'll be right back.
And the rain train continues as we head into Sunday, but I want to start you with how we finished off the month of August. Officially just under 10.5 inches of rain. Now, normally we see about 4¼ inches of rain for the month of August, but several days of an inch or more of rain, or at least over ½ an inch as we went through the month of August. Of course, we had our flooding there. And as we entered into September, well, so far we've seen a couple inches of rainfall in some spots, especially across the south and west. Since yesterday, they've seen upwards of 4 inches of rain. Here in Madison, we received right around 1.5 inches of rain, and there are more rain chances as we do go through the forecast. But here's that slug of moisture that came through last night, now lifting well to the north. That had a lot of noise with it, a lot of lightning and thunder. But as we start off your Sunday, we're going to have a pretty nice early morning, at least. It's a little muggy out there, but we're going to see some more sunshine. Now, in terms of any showers and thunderstorms, those are up near Viroqua and Camp Douglas right now, and those are all dying out as they continue to work their way to the north going through the day. Here's a live look over the Edgewater right now, and you see, yes, it's cloudy, but the sun is starting to filter through. That's what's being reported at the airport as well. That's where the temperature is 68 degrees. But check out the dew point at 67. So when I mention it's humid, I mean, we've been humid all summer long, so you know exactly what I mean. But we're going to stay mainly dry going through the day. Temperatures topping out around 80. Once we get you past 4 o'clock into the afternoon and evening and then into those overnight hours, that's when the chance for those showers and thunderstorms will once again return to the picture, and we'll have to watch the potential for some of those to be on the strong to severe side. With the sunshine and the humidity, the atmosphere will be fairly unstable, but we're going to keep those rain chances around going through a large part of the week and into Tuesday and Wednesday as well. And of course, that's going to add up. We could see an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain, if not more. The model's all kind of converging over the next 72 hours at least in that 1 to 2 inch range. But we're going to continue to watch the trends on this as we do go through the day. 69 to 75 as we go through the morning. We'll top out right around 81 into the afternoon with chances for some additional showers and thunderstorms coming into the picture. The alert days do last for today and into your Labor Day, solely because with any thunderstorm, you do have the risk of some very heavy rain on saturated ground, and that could bring about the possibility of some flooding again. So we're going to watch that. But those rain chances do last through the end of the week before a break, and then additional rain chances by next Sunday.
Zucky!
Hello with your pet walk forecast, that pacifier. I'll tell you what, nice. But if you're going to be out walking your dog later on this afternoon, by 3 o'clock, we'll have at least the chances for some showers and thunderstorms. It won't be a washout at that point. I think the true greatest washout chance is going to come much later on tonight.
Wonder how they got the pacifier to stay in the mouth like that.
You know, dogs are surprising. Sometimes they will do things you just never imagined.
Very true. Yes. All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, time right now is 7:50 this morning. Be sure to stick with News 3 and Channel 3000 today on our news at 5:30 and 10, showing their Sun Prairie Strong with a beverage perfect for the holiday weekend. The community brewing a beer as a way to raise money for local recovery efforts. But first, play ball. One of baseball's biggest events attracts some of the best players from across the country. The uplifting story about dedication, determination, and the drive to make even the biggest dreams a reality. When News 3 This Morning Sunday continues. Welcome back at 7:53. The Little League's Challenger Division gives children with developmental disabilities a chance to succeed. At youth baseball's biggest event, a team from Evansville, Indiana stepped out onto its field of dreams, putting on a show at the Little League World Series. Nick Ruffalo has that story.
It's game day, and the Highland Challenger League players can't wait to get started.
Game? Oh yeah, about 5 o'clock this morning, he woke up and started demanding how he wanted his food, his meds, his uniform, and it's time to go.
After breakfast, it was time to hop on the bus to Volunteer Stadium. The Little League World Series is youth baseball's biggest stage, and nothing is stopping these athletes from Evansville from being a part of it.
Game day!
It starts to sink in when the players walk down the tunnel and into the dugout. Then before you know it, it's game time, as players from both teams receive their medals from Hall of Famer Vladimir Guerrero for making it to the big stage.
This is the best game of the World Series. You know, Little League is for everybody, and this Challenger Division program demonstrates that every child should have an opportunity to put a Little League uniform on and come out in a Little League field and enjoy the benefits and the fun of playing with their friends.
Allie Shanks will do the honors when it comes to the national anthem, captivating a packed grandstand. Then it's time to play ball. The smiles on the kids' faces had the crowd cheering all game. Except when Killian Watson came up to bat. The crowd got quiet so he could focus on living out his dream. By the end of it, all the Challenger League players crossed the plate and enjoyed every second of it as parents watched their children experience the game of a lifetime.
This weekend has been fabulous. Definitely a lot of emotions. Just seeing these kids get to do what they love.
And while Volunteer Stadium is empty now, this place was packed with not only fans of the Highland Challenger League or the Hazleton Challenger League, but plenty of teams from this Little League World Series just coming out to show their support. And the Little League players stuck around after the game as well to say hello and exchange pins.
I saw that dive at home plate. That was awesome.
Oh, look, the Challenger League, I think, is a must. I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic for the kids. And also, importantly, it's fantastic for the parents and the families, you know, to see the parents weep with joy in the crowd is just something that you don't get to see.
The Challenger League exhibition game at the Little League World Series is helping make memories that will last forever. So at the end of day 3, it's mission accomplished as these players go out on top.
Little dust in the eye in that story.
I know, that was a good one.
All right. Well, hey, more rain it looks like, huh?
Yeah, well, there is more rain. Of course, alert days for today and tomorrow. Now, most of that is due to at least the chance for heavy rainfall that could lead to some additional flooding issues. For the most part, though, the good news, I do not see signs of massive 13-inch rainfalls like we've seen over the past couple of weeks. But we'll have to watch it because any rain right now is too much rain, so we're going to keep an eye on those water levels. Temperatures through the 70s by the end of the week.
All right, Chris, thank you. And thank you for joining us as we go this morning. There's a live look at the Capitol, the taste of Madison on rain or shine. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.